Hello and welcome back. Amber here, and it's time for another preview breakdown, and episode 207 looks like a fun one. So let's take a look at each scene and see what's going on. The very first image is of an older woman with pale eyes. I'm pretty certain this will be a flashback to an event in New Spring. The moment Moiraine hears the foretelling from an Aes Sedai that reveals the dragon has been reborn. This begins Moraine's quest looking for this child. It should give some insight into why she has to be so secretive and her reasoning for making the decisions she does. I really enjoy the prequel book New Spring, so this makes me instantly very excited. This scene is followed by Liandrin looking at a portrait of a young Moiraine saying, "I remember her at that age." And I don't know where the show is taking this because in the books we don't know many details about the relationship between Moiraine and Liandrin, besides Moiraine thinking Liandrin would rather befriend a Trolloc than a man. It looks like the show could be building upon their history and fleshing out a backstory for the two characters. It could also give insight into the century-old rivalry between the Red and the Blue Aja. The next scene is of Siuan Sanche saying, "We tried our way, Moiraine, and we nearly lost everything." And we have to pay close attention to the language here. Siuan says our way, which should mean that she has been included in the hunt for the Dragon Reborn, and that the two women have had a plan laid out that she believes isn't working. In New Spring, both women take different roles to assist the hunt for the Dragon Reborn. Moiraine leaves the White Tower and Siuan stays behind. There's a reason they had to keep the relationship secret, and it could be explained in this episode, which is really exciting because the two women gave up so much for this plan and to keep each other safe. It's tragic, but it shows the resilience of these two characters and the heart of what it means to be of the Blue Aja. We then see flashes of multiple events happening. Fires and fighting happening in an area that looks like the foregate of Cairhien. Then Siuan Sanche and a group of Aes Sedai standing on the ramparts of a castle looking outward as smoke billows in the forefront. We hear Moiraine angrily speaking to Lan, saying, "And this whole thing you're doing with Siuan, it puts all of it, the last battle, the face of the world, in jeopardy." With these words, we can infer that despite Moiraine and Siuan working together at one point, Moiraine has been guarding some aspects of her plan, or that Siuan and Lan are working on a new plan. We then see Lan reaching for Rand's sword and Rand spinning out of his reach. I'm assuming that this is the moment he is summoned by the Amyrlin and has been told to give up his weapon while in her presence. Rand says, "What does the Amyrlin seat want from me? Is this a trial? I saw what you did to the last man who called himself Dragon." In the books, this meeting between Rand and Siuan Sanche happens at a different point in time, directly after the battle at Fal Dara. And it's a moment book readers love because Rand doesn't cower, and it's a moment that his relationship with Lan as a mentor is shown very outwardly. In the preview, Lan tells Rand, "Whatever comes, face it on your feet," which is a direct book quote. This moment also shows Rand's distrust for the Aes Sedai. He doesn't know what the intention to bring him here is, and he fears he could be gentled like Logain. The Amyrlin arrived with 14 other sisters. This number has meaning. In the books, gentling takes 13 channelers. We hear Siuan say, "Prepare him for what is to come," which could mean that her original plan has been interrupted by whatever is happening in the foregate, or that she's commanding Moiraine and Lan to guide him in whatever comes next. The most interesting part of the preview comes next. We see a hand with golden weaves encircling it, then people running and screaming as explosions happen. In the background, we can see a figure walking through the turmoil, which looks like Lanfear. I also think the hand belongs to Lanfear as well, and she has arrived in the foregate. The motion the hand makes is similar to the motion she makes in other scenes while channeling. What's interesting is that we don't know what set her off. Is Lanfear coming to Rand's rescue? Does she think he's going to be gentled? Is she jealous that Rand wants to free Egwene? Is she coming to make good on the promise that Rand states in episode 205, that if Rand is in Moraine's company, she will kill her? We didn't hear Lanfear say it, but it's what Rand told Moiraine. So many questions about her motivations, but I'm excited to see Lanfear fully unhinged. The other question to ask is, what was Siuan Sanche doing on the ramparts? Is she watching the mayhem taking place? Will we end up watching a battle between Lanfear and the contingency that Siuan brought to Cairhien? The preview raises some interesting questions. Some of them could be misleading on purpose, but it mainly focuses on Cairhien. Will we see the wedding between Barthanes and Queen Galdrian, a topic that has been mentioned multiple times within the episodes? With that in mind, there's the question of how the story in Cairhien will conclude and what the climax of this plot will end on. Another curiosity is whether or not the show will reveal the identities of the Dark Friends who have been so far concealed. Looking beyond Cairhien, it's worth noting that there may be plotlines unfolding in Falm. It's highly likely that Perrin and Aviendha have reached the city with the intention of freeing Loial and Ingtar. Will they cross paths with Nynaeve and Elaine? We are gearing up to a big ending, and I have to imagine the preview left out the best bits, which only intrigues me even more. So let me know your thoughts. What's your theories for what we saw in the preview? And let me know what you're hoping to see. Only 2 more episodes to go, and the season will come to its end. If you like these videos, let me know by liking the video and subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you back for full highlights of episode 207.